This is a special video because this is part 1 of my series that I'm going to start doing on this here YouTube called Monetize Your Haters. And of course, it's in honor of the shirt that I have that you can go get at teespring.com/stores/EricDJuly. And it says, Monetize Your Haters, and it has that beautiful man right there. You can get this. You see it at the bottom of my YouTube, every YouTube video that I release. You can see all the cool shirts, among others. I mean, the favorite, the one that I've sold the most is this one, Taxation Step. So Monetize Your Haters, part 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take comments, YouTube comments that I get, tweets, Facebook posts, all that shit. When you motherfuckers try to, I don't even want to call it responses because it's almost giving you too much credit. So let's just say when you say dumb shit, I'm going to make a video about your bitch ass. And then I'm going to make some money off the video. Monetize your haters. And this ironically comes right after the video that I just uploaded talking about student debt. And then we have this dipshit, if you will, saying this, King James. And you see I told him that he was about to get monetized. We need to take the money and administration over grants and loans out of the equation. Take the money and administration over grants and loan out of the equation. That doesn't even make sense because it sounds like something that he's about to contradict himself on, because I'm technically making that argument that the money, which is the theft that people, state steals, they give the money through loans or they print it through the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. But he says privatization of colleges is the issue. Now, I don't know if anybody's been paying any fucking attention regarding American educational system, be it in higher education or public education. It is a heavily regulatory thing. It is a heavily regulatory thing, but more so what in the context of what I was talking about in this video, the loans, and if you haven't watched the video, I would encourage you to do it because I break some of this stuff down. Loans, government getting involved in loan and the grant business is why college is so much. College was not that expensive back in the gap. It became way more expensive considering the fact that they got in the grant and loan business. And because of that, you have a bunch of colleges, universities trying to outspend each other. This is why they have all these useless degrees. The vast majority of degrees that exist are fucking useless, especially bachelor's degrees. And even with a lot of those useless degrees, you can't even do anything with them until you become let's say a doctor. And in that becoming a doctor of bullshit studies, you can only teach other motherfuckers the dumb shit. So it's called almost a Ponzi scheme in a sense, because if the state wasn't propping it up, these motherfuckers would be on the street without a job or having to find a real job. This is artificially propped up because the state gives all of this money away, and not everybody's going into things like STEM or trying to be scientists, engineers, and doctors and lawyers or anything like that. That's not what people are trying to do. For the most part, they are majoring in generic degrees, and then they've come to find out once they get out, they can't get shit, and a lot of people are filling jobs that they have nothing to do with their degree for the most part. And obviously they're in debt. But he says, we spend trillions on military. If we invested in our people and crumbling infrastructure instead of bombs we can't even use, this would be a much different country. Now, before I get to this last part here, let's dive into that. Because crumbling infrastructure is just a leftist buzz term that people just say. And it's a completely anti-economic. It's letting the people know that you really have not analyzed how much the state, in terms of federal government, what they spend money on already. Let me show y'all something. What he's generally referring to, you probably seen something like this. It's 2015 federal budget, using it as an example. You see people highlight this. It's not at a trillion here. I believe it's crawling up there now, but they see this and they like, oh man, if we just get rid of this, we'll have more money to spend on this on other stuff, right? So more than likely, you've probably heard people refer to this. This is a dishonest thing because this is only discretionary spending. When you go to the all federal spending, you see that military is right here. When you look at almost $4 trillion they spent in 2015, Social Security, welfare, unemployment, labor, welfare entitlements, Medicare, health, education, transportation, all of this shit. So you could eliminate this right now. You could eliminate this entire thing, and you wouldn't even put a dent in like these two combined right here: Social Security, unemployment, labor, Medicare, and health. The government is it's massive, and they spend a lot of money on a bunch of bullshit. And this is why it's always incredible to me that people say, well, they just spend all of this money on this, we just got to get rid of that, not understanding that they already spent $1.28 trillion on Social Security, and they spent $1.05 trillion in Medicare and health. And I have not even included all of this other stuff. Now, again, this is outdated, so all of these, include military, have increased. So when you take that in consideration, the fact that this dipshit would say something like that, it completely ignores what is already being spent. So he's putting hopes in the state, which they've already showed you. By the state, I'm using that as just a general territorial monopoly on use of force, violence, and ultimate decision making. So that obviously the ultimate state is the federal government. And in the federal government, they're already spending trillions of dollars on welfare and entitlement programs. They're already investing in these things that you're bitching about. Investing. And they have shown you, which makes all the sense in the world, why, but they've shown you that they are incapable of doing that. They are incapable of being responsible. They are incapable of allocating those resources that they've stolen from people to benefit those if in an efficient form or fashion. They can't do it. It's an impossible task. Just think about it. You have bureaucrats, you have all of these individuals, lawmakers and such. And when you think about it, it's insane how they try to make these laws, they decide budgets, they do all this shit for a geographical area with 300 plus million people. The dumbasses in DC are doing that. We need to invest in our yada yada. Those are just buzz terms. They already do that. Throwing money at this problem ain't gonna solve. What are you talking about? Privatization of colleges. Fuck, are you stupid? If we privatized the colleges, we wouldn't be in this problem. We wouldn't have this problem. Now, private colleges right now have to compete with the universities right now. So then effectively, we don't have a legitimate free market we don't have any sort of, I don't want to say legitimate, we have no sort of anything that would resemble a free market when it comes to education. They already spend trillions of dollars on welfare policies and entitlements, and they always say if we took so and so, this lets you know how stupid these people are, because they'll say, wait, we just gotta take so and so's money, these rich people that are around, we gotta take their money, and then we just spend it over here. So and so made X billion dollars. If you divided that amongst these individuals, or you could pay for this amount of houses for the homeless with that money. Your government spends $4 trillion annually already. Yet you don't get any of that shit. You can apply it to the things that they're spending on entitlement programs, the things you say are good. They spend that right now, yet you're still poor people. There's still all of these problems. They can't fix this issue, right? Politicians can't fix it. They run on it, but they can't fix it. That's not how this shit works. It sounds good. Take the money, invest in the crumbling infrastructure, whatever the fuck that means. Just we spend all this money. Dog, they spend more money on defense, which needs to be cut, obviously, but they already spend more money on welfare and entitlement programs right now. That's not up for dispute. Yeah, you still have these problems. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, we just gotta shift the costs over here. They've already proven to you that they are incompetent. They are taxed with something impossible, which is why they have piled up $22 plus trillion worth of debt, and they deficit spend every year. That's why they do that, Mr. King James. So before you say dumb shit like this, stick to music and comics. Politics ain't your thing. Mr. King James, let me put you on game, homie. I have been doing this for a very, very long time. Certainly in regards to my age. I know I'm a young guy. I'm still in my 20s. I get it. I get it. I'm still in my 20s. But I've been doing this for a minute. Matter of fact, I wasn't planning on doing that, but let me show you something real quick. If I could. If you will allow me. For those that don't know, the massive publication that it is now, the massive media platform that we have right now, called This Being Libertarian, right here, I co-founded. Yes, yes. I co-found this page with 770,000 likes. I co-founded. I was doing this political shit before you even got put on game with my comic shit. Go look at the tape, dipshit. Go look up my old videos, dipshit. I've been doing this long before I ever covered my first comic book based material. I was doing political vlogs and stuff like that on my own channel, on Being Libertarian. This is why I've had the opportunity to debate people on these subject matters multiple times on multiple nationally syndicated avenues and platforms. I've been on Fox News. I've been on Blaze. I've been on, been covered on Alt Press. I've been doing talking about politics. I've been doing all of this shit. And I'm not just, I've been doing, again, this is something I've been doing on my own platform, talking about politics and economics. So you don't get to tell me, oh, stick to this, because no, motherfucker, I've been doing this for a minute. What the fuck do you have to show for it? I have, in this past month, I've hosted probably 6 debates on my own channel discussing the matter of politics. Now, that doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about or anything like that. I'm just saying I put myself out there to be criticized in this matter. And just because you disagree because you're a fucking welfare status does not mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. That doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. Notice that you didn't really address any sort of argument, which is why you're getting monetized. You didn't address any sort of argument. It's an ad hom. It's a complete non-point to sit up here and say stick to music and comics. I'm gonna stick to music. I'm gonna stick to comics. I'm gonna stick to the political shit, and I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, including monetizing yo ho ass. But by all means, Mr. King James, who commented on my YouTube, if you would want to come on my channel and discuss the matter at hand, I will gladly debate you. Email me at info. That's info at ericdjuly.com, or you can visit ericdjuly.com, link in the description box. Go to the contact sheet, hit me up with your schedule, your Skype, we'll work something out, and I will debate you live on the topic of higher education, politics, statism, and how all of that ties in. Me and my wrinkly ass shirt. We'll do that. No problem. Easy. No rehearsal, no shit. You can do it at night if you want to. So for every single person that comments on my shit, no matter what the material is, comics or whatever, doesn't matter. If you say some dumb shit like that, you best believe there is a high. I can't monetize all of y'all. I can monetize all of y'all. If you watch a previous video of mine, say, if I get your comment from a previous video of mine, I'll be more than likely monetize your ass already. But you have a heightened chance to get monetized again if you say some dumb shit. So when you come at me, come correct. Or just come, do what you're doing. And I'm just going to monetize your ass. This is part 1 of Eric July's Monetize Your Haters. You can get the shirt under this video.